Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm, Hero Hoists, and Martin's Panel Masters.
Hello and welcome to another Classic Restos, proudly online via the Shannons Club and on television in 5 countries around the world. And on this week's show, I have travelled west of Newcastle in New South Wales to a private show. It's about Volkswagens and raising money for autism. It's into its 5th year and it's a beauty. Welcome to the Andy Roberts VW Family Day. Not everyone is in a position to throw on a day like this. Andy Roberts does it because he can. His love and passion for the German marque precedes him to the point where this day of celebration has evolved into the largest private Volkswagen get-together in Australia. It's recognised by Shannons, and along with many people that own Volkswagens and of course their generous hearts, turning up to raise money for children's autism. The Volkswagen has etched itself into the minds of millions, whether it be for good reasons or not so good. But to countless thousands, the classic VW is loved and appreciated as a fun car. And we all know only too well how strong the VW fraternity is in Australia. So sit back and relax as another episode of Classic Restos showcases the mighty classic Volkswagen and the great work of Andy Roberts and his family. Well, there's no doubt that the movie Herbie the Love Bug helped to put the Beetle on the map. Isn't that true, Heath?
Sure did, Fletch.
You've done a wonderful job here. Tell us about it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, this is my 1963 Volkswagen Beetle. I took about 6 months to restore. Its unveiling was actually this show 2 years ago, so Andy likes that. I kind of kept it a secret. No one knew it was finished.
That's why I had strict instructions from Andy to make you the first interview on today's show, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, now run us through the process. What was it like before you started, Heath?
It was actually a good car. I searched high and low around this area. I couldn't find one. So it actually came from the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it was a really good original car. Yeah. So the guy, yeah, it was bright yellow though, fluoro yellow.
Now, to replicate the car from the movie, you've gone as close as you possibly can, right?
Yeah, so this is based off the Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo because he had the wider wheels and a lot more aggressive stance for Herbie.
I love the grey interior.
Yeah, that was actually from the movie as well. They had a matte grey interior, so it would stop flashback from filming.
Yeah.
So
the movie was incredible in one respect because it gave the impression to so many millions of people that the Beetle was such a fast car.
Yeah. Oh, well, it was, dominating everything. Like Porsches didn't stand a chance. It was, yeah.
It was incredible back in the time how much power that movie did have. It really captivated the minds of, well, millions around the world, didn't it?
Yeah. So my dad had a 1971 Superbug. He drove it to work for 15 years. It was purple, but we called it Herbie. Yeah. And that's where the love came from. It was
exactly. Yeah. As we've always said about the Volkswagens, particularly the Beetles as well, right across the whole marque, they're so uniquely different, and they lend themselves to these modifications. And as you made reference to earlier, Heath, with the wider steely wheels and the stance that gives the car, you can get so much neg camber hanging on the rear, sitting them down nice and low to the ground. They take on another look. Yeah. They're a very universal car to play games with, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like as less as Herbie, there's not too many Beetles that look the same because there's like the rat look. There's like standard height, low. I like mine a bit lower, so mine's got adjustable suspension in it, so I can get it a little bit lower for the racy look.
With the build time, that was one thing, but problems along the way. Was it a good restoration?
All in all, it was pretty good, yeah. So I did the respray and everything myself. The worst part was cutting a hole in the roof to fit the rag top because it was a hard top when I got it. So that was measure 14 times, cut once.
It's scary when you start cutting sheet metal like that, especially of that size.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Give us a rundown engine Outback. What have you done there?
It's a 1641 with twin carbies, bigger heads, stainless steel exhaust. Has a nice note to it.
So it goes well?
Yeah, goes along quite well. The car weighs next to nothing. So.
With all due respects, goes well for a Beetle.
Yeah, goes well for a Beetle.
Yeah, exactly. Good on you, mate. Love what you've done, Heath, and thanks for turning up here today. What a tremendous day this is. Andy Roberts putting on this day, raising money for children's autism. The 5th year now here on the beautiful 5-acre property that Andy has, and the amount of people that turn up and the passion that people show here each year. It's the largest private Volkswagen show now in Australia. I think that's a wonderful accolade.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Andy goes out of his way to make this a great day. And yeah, like with a place like this, you can't really not have fun here.
Yeah. All right, keep up the good work. Thank you, Heath.
Oh, thanks, Fletch. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, mate. And of course, Shannons is here. Michael, say it. How are you, buddy?
Great, Fletch. How are you?
Good to see you again.
Absolutely. It's been 12 months, I think, to the day nearly. Yeah.
You love this event?
Oh, it's a fabulous event, mate. Such a great setup at Andy Roberts' place. VW Family Day. They all love it. But look at the place. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And that's right. I mean, we're talking one unique individual here that's in a position to be able to do this.
That's right.
He's not a car club as such.
No.
He's made a family picnic day out of it.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's great to see an individual take on such a helpful community situation. I mean, there's a charity attached to it.
Yep.
I mean, it's just all good. It's all good.
Children's autism. One great thing about all the car shows we go to, there's always behind-the-scenes charities in most cases.
Yeah.
The fraternities just stand for so much great stuff, don't they?
Oh, they do. And it's something we've seen a hell of a lot of course, with the events that we do throughout all these years. And we're tipping off nearly 1,100 events now. Throughout the year, so there's charities attached to all of it. Yeah.
And that's just Michael personally.
Yeah, that'd be a task, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Mate, it's great to see you back here, mate.
As always, Fletch.
Keep up the good work. It's always good running into the Shannons guys, because wherever I go, you'll see that green tent. You guys are like salt. You're in everything.
We're busy boys and girls. We've got a couple of our girls around in the States, around Australia, so... always out there. We get to as much as we can. I've got 50 alone just in my area up here in the Hunter and Newcastle. So that's a hell of a lot of events throughout a year.
That's awesome stuff.
2 or 3 off throughout the year, so it's busy, mate.
Good on you, Michael. Great to see you again.
Absolutely.
And ending on that, if you've got anything to do with a classic vehicle club, whether it be bike, car or truck, make sure it's listed with the Shannons Club for all the world to see. Find out more information when you visit shannons.com.au. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
My passion for cars began when Nana and Pop bought their new Toyota Crown. It was Nana's, really. She loved that car. We went everywhere in it. My passion now is just the same, even though my cars are a little different. I've still got Nana's car, couldn't part with it. And I reckon if she was here today, she'd be insured with Shannons too.
Call Shannons on 13 46 46. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts.
How would you like to double your garage space and work on your cars easily? Well, bring in your own hero with a Lift King hoist. Easy to install models in 1, 2 and 4 post styles. Check the very nifty Spider 2500 portable mini scissor lift. Hero hoists are either Oz certified or carry the Euro CE, your guarantee of quality construction and reliability. I regularly stand under my Lift King, so when you need a bit of a lift, why don't you go stand under yours? If you have a restoration project, Hare and Forbes has the tools that you need. Shrinker stretchers, dollies, mallets, bead rollers, profile gauges, professional panel restoration kits, and so much more. Now I warn you, enter at your own risk because you will end up buying something. So come along to your Cap City store or browse and buy online at machineryhouse.com.au because Hare and Forbes has the range. Martin's Panel Masters has 3 modern accident repair centres. They service Melbourne's inner, outer east and the fast-growing southeast corridor. Your vehicle will receive the best from state-of-the-art repair equipment finished beautifully from computer-based paint mixing systems, finished in Australian compliant spray booths. Martin's Panel Masters, located at Ferntree Gully and Berwick, also Box Hill Panels.
Moving through as we do the 2018 Andy Roberts VW Family Picnic Day. How are you, Chris Jeffs?
Really good, Fletch, yourself?
Good, mate, good. Now, two reasons I'm picking on you. First of all, you have a rare car that you've just purchased. And number two, I'm led to believe that you are the furthest distance travelled this year here west of Newcastle.
Yeah, so what we did yesterday is we flew from Melbourne Airport up to the Gold Coast to purchase a little car behind us here, sight unseen, as you do, on a whim. Took it for a drive, gave the man the money, and we've made it so far here today. So had to stop over in Taree last night because the hours were getting the better of us.
Good on you, Chris. Now, that's a true enthusiast, someone that travels like that to grab a car. But I can appreciate that, and I think that's part of the fun. Sometimes the further that you go to get one, the more exciting that it is. Speaking of which, we're talking in 1991, a Golf GTi, correct?
A Golf GTi Cabriolet, which is a pretty rare car in itself. We've got quite a few cabriolets out here in the Mark 1s. We've had a lot of personal import GTIs, but I'm led to believe there's probably about 5 or 6 GTi Cabriolets that are in the country, so yeah, it's a rare little beast.
What makes this car so special?
I think it's the rarity. I don't want anything like Camrys and everything else has got. I want something that's a little bit different, and my partner feels the same.
Now, being a 1991 car and how square it is, it's almost like the Australian equivalent back in late 79 when Ford went to the XD Falcon. They kept that squareness, Chris, in the Euro market.
Of course, yeah, definitely. Well, this car came out in the 70s originally, the Mark 1 Golf. By the time it sort of got to the 90s, they had to freshen up a little bit. The original ones had chrome bumper bars, and they were a little bit more basic inside. So obviously to keep up with the market and the times, they've put the body kit on them, modified the dash, so there's a little bit more plastic in there than what there was in the earlier ones, and obviously improved the performance and the drive. At the end of the day, 5-speed gearbox. The early ones only had a 4-speed gearbox and a the 1.8 litre injected motor.
Chris, the cosmetics of the vehicle, soft top, that's quite unique. 2-door, hatch and back. The interior's in good condition as well. Are you happy with your purchase?
Oh, most definitely. At the end of the day, we probably paid a little bit more than what we should have for the car of this, but it's the rarity. We've got a few little cosmetic things to fix up, a few little mechanical things to fix up, which we can do once we get back to Melbourne, hopefully in the next couple of days.
Good on you, Chris. Great to catch up with you again, mate.
Cheers, Fletch. Thanks very much. Ta.
Moving through, as we do, we're out in the back section now, the back paddock here at Andy's, and we have Flinders. How are you today?
Good, Fletch. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Good. Love your car. 1971 Karman Ghia. Tell us the story.
Yeah, I bought it through Shannon last year through auctions.
Yep.
Been loving it since the day I had it. So yeah, it's beautiful. I love it.
Have you always admired these types of cars?
Since I was a kid, I always wanted a Karman Ghia. Since the first sight I seen once, I always wanted one in my life.
Yeah.
Good opportunity came up, I have to have it.
I guess it's the type of shape that grows on you, doesn't it? It's impressionable at a young age, and that just sticks with you.
Yes, it is a beautiful shape. A lot of people say it is the most beautiful cars in the world, and I agree to it. So yeah.
It's interesting too with the Volkswagen Mark across the brand, how many different shapes that there are. Well, at least we can have a Combi, we can have a Beetle, we can have a Karman Ghia, we can have the Golf, the GTI. There's a little bit of variance there, isn't there?
I have most of them.
Have you? You do?
I can only drive one at a time. So.
See how Flinders said that? It's like as though I've got a shed with a couple of hundred cars. Actually, I've got to ask you, Flinders, how many do you have in your collection?
Only 5 at the moment.
That's all right.
Yeah.
What have you got?
A couple of others, Beetles, yeah, including 1 or 2 Porsches.
Oh, there you go. There
you
go. You've been hit with the Germans stick pretty hard.
The Germans, yes.
Okay, now Flinders, tell us about this Karman Ghia, what it's like to drive. Is it a good car?
It is a good car. It's 1600 trim port. Everything you see is original from the factory. Yeah. And I have trim carby fitted, had it serviced. Yeah, so it's going pretty well. It's better than you think how to drive. And yeah.
It's something different too, right?
It is very different.
Yeah. All right, well, Flinders, it's been wonderful catching up with you. I really do admire your car. One of the only Karman Ghias here today, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yours has got to be the best one then, right?
Well, the only one. So it has to be the best.
It has. Good on you, mate. Nice meeting you.
Thanks, Fletch.
This Karman Ghia is a classic example of the quality of vehicle that you will find at a Shannons Auction. To find out more information as to the library of cars available and when the next auction is taking place, find out more at shannons.com.au.
Every weekend around Australia, motoring enthusiasts get together to share their passion for cars and bikes. It's a passion that brings us together. All sorts of people, all sorts of cars and bikes. From the classics of today to the classics of tomorrow. At Shannons, we understand enthusiasts. So when it comes to insurance, it's got to be Shannons. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
Martin's Panel Masters has 3 modern accident repair centres. They service Melbourne's inner, outer east and the fast-growing southeast corridor. Your vehicle will receive the best from state-of-the-art repair equipment finished beautifully from computer-based paint mixing systems, finished in Australian-compliant spray booths. Martin's Panel Masters, located at Ferntree Gully and Berwick, also Box Hill Panels. Hare and Forbes Machinery House has been family owned and operated for over 85 years, and it's easy to see why. Planning on welding? Look at these welding tables and clamps, air compressors and different air tools, sandblasting cabinets, through to spray guns. Everyone is welcome at Machinery House. There are competitive freight rates around Australia, and you can buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. So remember, Hare and Forbes has the range. Time for Carlos now. How are you, buddy?
Good, Fletch. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. Beautiful 1958 Beetle. I like what you've done to this thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, she's been kept as original as possible.
Yeah.
All import papers from Germany. We've changed the wheels. It's got aftermarket alloys. Also putting disc brakes on the front.
Yep.
Apart from that, she's pretty much original.
Would you call it a rat car or not quite?
It's kind of in between. I had a Rap before, 61, but I always wanted a 58 with the Zemophones.
Yeah.
It's just a total different look.
Yeah.
Look, it's exactly how I would want it and how I will keep it.
Carlos, I love what you've done. It's cool being a 58. You've left the interior period correct. Little addition there, got the suitcase in the back. And then, of course, we have the synonymous roof rack that just went so well with a lot of the older type cars.
Yes. Look, I sorted that esky, period esky, also one of my old surfboards, and a matching alloy.
Yeah.
It just adds it to the look of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Again, borderline rat.
Yep.
And on the back, it's got a nice Volkswagen Beetle.
Yep.
My kids gave me that for a Christmas present.
Yep.
And it's got a little throw, like again,
Yeah.
borderline rat on the back seat. Apart from that, she's pretty much as it was made. It's been kept as a 6-volt. Gets things moving slowly with the rain this morning. It took a while for the wipers to get going, but once they do, you can't beat factory.
Carlos, you mentioned the front-end disc brake addition and the mag wheels. In terms of the driving dynamics, that's a marked improvement?
Very much so. I mean, to keeping up with today's traffic, it's a lot better stopping power. That was purely the only reason for it. The alloys is purely for obvious visual and adding the look. As I said, there's not many more changes that will be going on the vehicle. I've kept the original motor, all matching numbers, and also with a 6-volt, which is adds to the era of the vehicle.
Carlos, thank you for turning up today for the 2018 Andy Roberts Family Picnic Day, mate. Love the Beetle, well done.
Thank you, Fletch. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Time for Janet now. Hello.
Hello, Fletch.
How are you?
I'm good. Bit wet, but
Yeah, it's raining, stopping, but the diehards are here. The event continues, which is good.
it's a great event.
Now, Janet, you've got an extraordinary vehicle here, the flatbed 1956 model, right?
That's correct.
It's really cool. Do you love driving it?
I don't drive it, my husband does, but I like going out in it for the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So through the eyes of yourself, having something so ratty and so cool from such an era, how do you feel about this type of vehicle?
I think it's great to see that it's still on the road and going strong, not having all the mod cons and the electrical things that the newer cars have, so less things to go wrong.
Sure. Now, tell us quickly the story about this flatbed, the condition of it when your husband got it, and what's been done to it. I don't know if much has been done to it. I think it's been more preserved and hit with some clear coat. I love how it's got that natural patina. That's certainly a big characteristic of this.
I like the ratty look of it. We do actually have a pristine bus at home as well.
Yep.
a 59 splitty. But this one I like because you don't have to be quite so careful with it in the way of, if it gets a little bit knocked, or you can take it out in the weather and it's, it can get a bit dirty and you don't have to worry so much. I like that.
It's a cool thing to have. When you look at the vehicles that we have on the road and we look at our classics, these Volkswagens, there's nothing really else quite like them.
No, nothing like them at all. And you see that when you're driving along and everyone's waving and thumbs up and yeah.
It's either they really love it or they feel sorry for you.
I hope they love it.
Now, Janet, you've got this gorgeous dog. She goes everywhere with you guys, right?
She does. She goes everywhere.
What sort of dog is she?
She's a chow chow. We have two. This is Portia. She's 2 years old. And every time we go to get in the car, she's straight for the garage. She wants to go.
She's a beautiful dog. Talking of chow chow, I'm thinking about stopping and have a bit of chow chow on the way home tonight. Okay, Greg's the main man. He's the owner of this vehicle. How you doing, Greg?
Good, thanks, Fletch.
Having fun?
Having a great day, except for the rain.
Yeah. What's this thing like to drive?
It's actually not too bad. Probably a lot better than it was in 1956.
Yeah? Run us through some of the mods.
It's got a 1600 twin port in it. It's got a straight-through axle. It's got a bay front end in it. Still four-wheel drums, which is not the best, but not too bad.
You got to plan ahead.
Yes. A lot of planning in the wet.
Yeah, if you're going to stop, right?
That's it.
Yeah. Now, Greg, we spoke to your better half, Janet. She talked about the looks that you get on the road. What's the feeling like when you're out in this?
Oh, it's fantastic. It really is. You get kids of all ages, old, young, old couples, come up next to you, mobile phones out, people filming, people taking photos. Yeah. Everywhere you stop, everyone comes and talks to you. McDonald's, car park, service station. Yeah, it's truly a treat.
Isn't that good, though?
Yeah, it is good. And it's really good even to see the kids today, like 5, 6, 7 years old, going up, taking photos and know all the bits.
Because with all due respects, a long time ago, you see one of these old girls on the road and no one really did anything. You just looked the other way. But that's just so not the case now.
No, very much so. Even myself, I missed that golden era where I should have bought 10 of them and put them in the yard.
Yeah, that's right. All these classic vehicles, they're all modicoddled, aren't they? They're wrapped in cotton wool. They're only driven once a week, maybe once a fortnight. And it's like as though they are in retirement, but then to get them out and drive them down the road, well, again, that's what it's all about.
This one's actually my everyday drive, so...
Is it? Everyday driver. There you go. 1956. Flatbed Volksy, driving it every day. How many Ks roughly do you do in a week, Greg?
Probably about 500 Ks a week.
Yeah.
So that's quite a bit for an old girl still.
See, that's the secret, though. Get something like this, leave it ratty, make sure your mechanicals are 100%. You should be able to do that.
Yeah, we've got a 59 as well, but that's probably driven 6 times a year.
Yeah. That's the pristine one, right?
The pristine one.
Yeah. We heard a little bit about that.
The non-ratty one.
Right. Okay, Greg, keep up the good work with the preservation of the flatbed. It's great. They're always great to interview, the Volkswagen people and these classic vehicles, mate. Well done, Greg.
Thanks, Fletch.
Yeah, so the Andy Roberts VW Family Picnic Day is all about bringing people together that share the same passion, which is Volkswagen, and celebrating everything that comes with it, all for a good cause, to raise much needed funds for special needs children and Diabetes Australia this year. And we've had a record turnout today, even with the weather. I've had 100 cars turn up. I've had at least a couple of hundred people come to just have a look. That's word of mouth that's spread around. And this event continues to go every year. It's in its 5th year now. I've had the support of Hunter Volkswagen as well. And local guys come along, sponsors, which has made the day another success. We all go to shows that are put on by clubs and events put on by clubs, but this is something personal. It comes from my passion of the marque, passion of Volkswagen, is to share it and bring people together, all for a good cause, and raise money for special needs children. That is my reason, and I'm sharing my passion with other like-minded people. We do the Hubcat Throw Championship. It's unique. No one else does it. And it's only here. It happens every year. I've been successful on a few occasions, but I lost my title today, right at the death, by Craig Jeffries. He always gives me a lot of competition, and it's just a bit of fun. And we all have a laugh, and we go home and thought, we had a really nice day. And that's what it's all about. I want people to come and experience the cars, have a bit of a chat, bit of a network, get together, and walk away and feel like they've had a good day.
Well, there you have it. That's a wrap. Just some of the 2018 Andy Roberts VW Family Picnic Day, and you've seen it first on Classic Restos. It's an example of one individual and a unique family that do what they can to help kids in need. If you'd like to experience this event in 2019, you'll be made feel more than welcome. Check social media pages for more information. As I say at the end of every episode of Classic Restos, no matter where you're watching the show from, until next week, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, and I thank you very much for watching. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ClassicRestosTV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au.
Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm, Hero Hoists, and Martin's Panel Masters.